Well, I would say it was an encounter at a sporting event. I wouldn't describe it as a meeting on any of the subjects on which we each had a respective responsibility. You would have not expected us to be hiding this. It happened in plain sight of another 60,000 people who were also at that event, an event which for me was a very happy event, as you know, because I'm a lifelong supporter of the team that won. I was there with my wife and my child, who I hope will also be a lifelong supporter of the team, and it was not something that was political in the sense of its establishment, etc. But look, he's not the only Spanish foreign minister who has proposed meeting. I had an invitation from Senor Margallo to meet, which I refused. And so I'm surprised to see Senor Margallo today say that it was wrong of Gonzalez Laya to meet me. He invited me to meet, and I refused to meet. And the meeting that he was proposing would have involved Senor Margallo, myself, and each of us with one secretary, at the height of his attacks against Gibraltar.
And why did you refuse to meet Jose Manuel Garcia Margallo?
Well, I refused to sit with him on the basis that Senor Margallo, in my view, had not understood or respected the people of Gibraltar. And I was not going to sit across the table to hear him say to me the things that he was saying on the airwaves about the sovereignty of Gibraltar and the future of Gibraltar. I had absolutely no interest whatsoever. The answer he was going to get was exactly the same one every single time.
In respect of the meeting with Josep Borrell, did you suggest in your answer that it was proposed by him?
Well, no, as a matter of courtesy, because they knew I was going to be in Madrid, they suggested that we might have an opportunity to shake hands, and we did. And Josep Borrell is not, as I now know, a big football fan. He didn't know much of what was going to go on, and I spent a bit of time explaining to him why Liverpool were very likely to win that cup, as they did at the end of the 90 minutes.
So no politics discussed?
You can't get two politicians in the same room and ask them to have a chat and not expect them to talk politics. But there were no officials with us. This was not an official meeting in any way. Therefore, there is nothing to tell about that meeting, which was political. There was no press release, there was no statement, because there was nothing to tell.
And for a chief minister who's not camera shy, why was there no photograph of your meeting with Mr Borrell?
So the place where I met Josep Borrell was a place where there were no photographs being taken. Josep Borrell was not the only politician there. The Prince of Monaco was there. Many other Spanish politicians were present. There were therefore no cameras allowed, and all of those politicians who you describe as people who might like photographs taken of them when they meet others were not taking photographs of themselves meeting others for that reason.
Chief Minister, what would you say to somebody who feels a little bit uneasy about finding out almost 12 months later that the Chief Minister of Gibraltar met with the Spanish Foreign Minister, who may think effectively then that the meeting was a secret meeting?
They might be forgiven for saying it was a secret meeting, but a meeting held in a football stadium with 60,000 other people there is hardly a secret meeting, especially one that happens after all the relevant agreements had been put in place in the context of the work that was done on the run-up to our departure from the European Union. All of that had been done, all of that had been announced. There was nothing to report, and I think people trust me enough to know that you can put me in a room with any politician of any description that you might like, and you can trust me when it comes to the issue of Gibraltar not to be saying privately anything I wouldn't be saying publicly. My position is transparent. Everybody knows it. The position of my party is transparent. If anything, we're accused of being hawks on the subject of Gibraltar. So there's absolutely nothing to say about that meeting, which isn't already the position of the government of Gibraltar. It didn't modulate our position. It didn't in any way change our position. I didn't present to him a position about Gibraltar, which is not the position that I present to you when your cameras are rolling, and people know that they can trust me on this and on every other issue.
But why not report it at the time, just after it happened?
Because there was nothing to report. When you meet somebody at a football match, it's not something to report. At a football match I was there to attend with my wife and my child. I didn't go to see it with him. So if I had reported at the time, you would have perhaps accused me of trying to make a meeting out of a molehill for my own purposes, and I would have been accused of not understanding that this was a meeting between two people and not a meeting between the Spanish Foreign Minister and the Chief Minister of Gibraltar of any consequence or any political effect whatsoever.